Welcome to the University of Rivengard, where we're teaching you the ins and outs of Snow Prince Rivengard so you can have the best possible start to your Rivengard gaming experience. We is me. I'm Erroneous. So let's talk about faction, color, and class. Now, in Rivengard, what we're talking about is a tactical combat game, and that tactical combat game is going to be absolutely pointless if all the heroes are the same. They're broadly categorized in different ways, and these different ways that they're categorized interact differently with each other. It's important to know and understand how this works, so let's dive into that today. I think the best way to start into that is by talking about geography. This is Rivengard. I bet you didn't know that. This map is available on the Snowprint website, and it's beautiful. It's probably hard to tell on this kind of resolution, but you can get a nice big one, print it out, put it on your wall. It's really kind of cool. I've enjoyed looking at this, spending some time in it, because it helps make a bit more sense of the mythology of Rivengard, and some of that mythology is available on the Snowprint website too. Just gives some more depth to the game. Now, like I said, within this game, the heroes are divided into factions, and these are kind of affinity groups. They're teams. They're the characters that work together, and they're each made up of 5 characters, and they each come from a different geographical location. They hang out together, they have pizza parties, they enjoy life and fish and talk about philosophy and whatnot, I assume, depending on where they're from. For example, the Radiant Order up here in Radiant City. Charizard traders in the desert. Our newest faction coming in this upcoming festival, which may be in the past by the time you're watching this, but Sacred Grove is over here on the plateau. The Ringy Dynasty near the Ringy Pyramids, which makes sense, and we've got the Walled Kingdoms. We've got the Blazing Brew over here, drunk off their keisters in the mining area. Over here, crawling out of the pit, we have the Cavern Realm. You know, this is interesting because it feels like these guys should be teamed up with Waning Moon, but they're actually warring factions. There's a lot of history. There's some bad blood between these two things, even though they seem like they're kind of right together. Up here are the Reefkin, and way up in the top, in the Azure Tower, or the Azure Tower. Go figure. I figure that University of Rivengard's somewhere over about here in Commerce City. That seems like a good place to put U of R. So these are the different factions. Right now there are 10 factions in Rivengard, and we may see more over time. But these factions, you will notice, I am certain, are divided into 5 colors. And these 5 colors represent kind of our different anger levels, you might say. It's not so much war, but they really want to take things out on each other. You know what? It's probably easier if I show you without the map. And so we'll take these and here is a really easy way to see our color and faction breakdown. So Radiant Order and Charizard traders, they're in our light faction. The green faction has the Ringy Dynasty and the Sacred Grove. Down here we've got Walled Kingdoms and Blazing Brew as our red faction, and then we've got Cavern Realm and Waning Moon in the dark faction. The blue faction has Azure Tower and Reefkin. When we look at this, it's a 5-pointed thing. If you've played Magic the Gathering, you're kind of familiar with this idea of, you've got your friend factions and your enemy factions. And there's an element to that in this, at least as far as damage gets done. Because you actually do 25% extra damage to your 2 opposite factions. So that means the Radiant Order up here or Charizard traders, because they're both light, would have an extra 25% damage over here against Cavern Realm or Waning Moon, and same thing, an extra 25% damage at Walled Kingdoms and Blazing Brew. The thing is, Blazing Brew and Walled Kingdoms would also get 25% extra damage on our light faction. So it's not like one just has the advantage over the other. They just both hit each other hard. They rumble. They go bah and fight. But Blazing Brew wouldn't have that same damage against Waning Moon. Blazing Brew and Walled Kingdoms, our red factions, would have 25% extra damage against light factions and blue factions. Right? Those are our opposite factions there. You know, our green factions would have 25% extra damage against what? Dark and blue. Right? So whenever we see this, it keeps popping up in our Rivengard game. This color wheel is actually really central, and it makes it easier to remember if you're looking to do extra damage, if you're looking to get violent. You want to be thinking about who you're having hit, but at the same time, if your heroes are wanting to be protected a little bit, you got to remember that you're going to take extra damage too. So that's their faction and their color, right? So the color is broken right now into two different factions within each color, but wait, there's more. We also have this kind of Rochambeau rock, paper, scissors thing going on. Now, this is color and faction independent. What these are is their character classes. We have our rogues up here. We have our warriors, and we have our mages. And those kind of broadly describe what each character, what each hero kind of does, what each character is focused on. The rogues are sneaky, and they like to stab things, or something like that. Warriors tend to be beefy, big physical armor, physical damage. Mages would have magical armor and do magical damage. They tend to be ranged more often than not. Some of them are summoners. Lots of different things going on, but the important thing to remember for the purpose of this video is that there's like a rock, paper, scissors thing going on. Rogues will do 25% extra damage to mages. And this doesn't go back and forth like the color damage does. Right? So mages do not do extra damage against rogues. Rogues kill mages more, 25% more. Mages kill warriors, 25% more. Warriors kill rogues, 25% more. This may be even more important when you're thinking about how you're going to structure your team than the factions and classes are. But they work together. Each of these independently gives a 25% bonus. So, say we are working with, Tim. Tim is a Reefkin mage, so a blue mage. And if he's attacking, let's say, Sir Florianus with the awesome mustache, he's going to do 25% extra damage because of the color affinity damage, so blue and green fighting. And he's going to do 25% extra damage because he's a mage attacking a warrior, so that's 50% extra damage that he's doing. It may feel complicated to start with, but it's not. You'll get used to it really fast. And in so many different areas, you have the opportunity to click on a character, click on something, and it will often pop up, especially in the dragon thing. It'll say, like, this character or this color gets plus 25% against warriors of these colors and 50% against warriors of these colors. And that just means he's getting a color bonus and he's getting a class bonus. Does that make sense? Of course it does. You're smart. You're brilliant. You know this stuff already, probably. Why are you even here? Maybe because you find it interesting, like I do. I don't know. I hope you've had some fun with this as we've looked at our faction, color, and class. Maybe it makes a little bit more sense to you. And if it does, well then, I would invite you to help out the University of Rivengard, donate to our alumni fund, as it were, as entering into your reference code MON52GUM. MON52GUM is our referral code, and that will get me some gems, and it'll get you some gems, and we will all be happy and shiny, and possibly people holding hands. Regardless, welcome to the University of Rivengard, and I hope that this has been educational.